Yo, 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 you guys are now tuned into Hot Streak. It's your boy, Sea God, in the cut, and I am not alone.
Yeah. You already know the young sidekick Saif. No, I'm just playing. Young Batman, young Robin.
Batman.
Hey.
Yeah, so we're going to kick it off right now with some NBA news. Got a lot of... We're getting our feet wet finally in the league. We're like 8-9 games in.
Yep.
Everyone seems to have found a groove. There's some teams that are struggling, some teams that are actually playing above expectations in this early season. But we're going to start it off with the defending Eastern Conference champions. The Cavaliers are looking like a team that has no All-Stars, no championships, and no veteran presence. But they obviously have LeBron James and company. They're falling short with some of their games. I believe it's a lot of chemistry issues, a lot of issues on defense, which has stopped them from coming out with these wins. They're getting blown out by the Pacers. They're getting beat by, I forgot who they got beat by, and everyone was pretty shocked about it. But they asked LeBron if he's worried, and he's like, it's October. Why would I be worried? He has a point. They're 10th in the East as of earlier this week. And they lost to Indiana, the last loss on Wednesday. And that's pretty surprising, honestly, because it's LeBron James. They don't have a point guard. I think D-Rose might still be a little nicked up, and LeBron's playing point. But their defense is lacking.
Yeah, it's not looking good for them right now, and it's kind of, you can take it only two ways because it's so early in the season, and also LeBron's never really worried since his third year in the season, in his career, about making the playoffs. So I kind of feel like he's not taking it that seriously, and I say that because the first game on opening night against the Celtics was the energy of a playoff game. They played so competitively. It was a good game, and recently they're kind of just dumbing it down, and the chemistry looks off. They're all still fresh,
Yeah, it does, and they had some lineup changes. D-Wade went to the bench. I'm not sure how I feel about Dwayne Wade on that team. I feel like they need athleticism, defense, and perimeter shooting. It doesn't look like they have enough defense and athleticism with an older Dwayne Wade and an older LeBron James. Everyone's pretty much in the later half of their careers.
There's no Kyrie around to just pick them up right now. Yeah. There's really none.
And I think that's where the Cavs lack.
Yeah, I also don't think, though, that J.R. Smith will be in the starting lineup because, D-Wade went to the bench for pretty much J.R. I don't know, it was an ego thing or whatever. He just felt like it was the right thing. But JR was expected to be that perimeter shooter, that dude who can just ball out, score 18, 20 points. But right now he's not doing anything. So it's still early, but right now the third last in the whole league defensively and defensive efficiency. But take that with a grain of salt because the second to last team is Golden State in defensive efficiency. And last year they were the best. So all this can change, I
think, that's definitely true. It's very early in the season, but at the same time, I think Golden State has more offense than the Cavs. So if their offense is playing better than their defense, they could still put up 140 points on you any given night. And and it's going to be hard to play against them and then pick up points against a defensive team like they are, even if they are playing bad defense.
Yeah, and it's kind of showing. That's so true. And the Eastern Conference is kind of looking weak right now, and it's only been 8 games in, but so far the Detroit Pistons were one of the best defensive and offensive teams in the East. One of the best teams so far through these few games.
Yeah, and the Lakers just beat them by 20.
Yeah, the Warriors. They beat the Warriors too. So and then the Lakers come and beat the Pistons by 20 points, like you just said. That's crazy. It's so early right now, but I mean, I think all these teams will, eventually start, but I do see the East being kind of weak because even the Bucks, which is supposed to be a contending team this year, are kind of slacking on defense. Like their offense is pretty good, but
I think the most surprising team right now, the most surprising team right now, I think would have to be probably the Orlando Magic. I think they're sitting at the top of the East. I don't think they're going to be a top 5 Eastern Conference team, but they definitely have some athleticism, some young, fresh talent, and a nice mixture of veteran presence in that locker room. So it's gonna be a pretty good, interesting season. I can't wait to see how it plays out. I don't know how the East is gonna end up, and I don't know how the West is gonna end up, but it's gonna be a fun ride. And there's highlights left and right. Like honestly, you turn on SportsCenter, someone's getting put on a poster. Someone's getting their ankles broken. It's insane.
Crazy. We got so many good rookies this year too.
Yeah, we really do.
So much energy.
Ben Simmons is playing really well. He actually was quoted saying he thought he would be playing better, but he's playing really good basketball right now.
Yeah, him, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. I mean, all these young guys that are coming up. Brandon Ingram's showing some lights. Kuzma.
Yeah,
you got so much energy going. Lonzo. I mean, he could do a little better, but I like the way the team's going right now. And they're playing, besides Julius Randle, they're all kind of sharing the ball a lot.
And Julius Randle actually had a pretty good game earlier this week against the Pistons.
He's been coming in so clutch off of the bench with that energy. But the thing is, for me, is just kind of like he kind of knows that his contract isn't going to get extended or that he might not be on the team next year. So I feel like he's trying to like
boost his stock
every night. Yeah, he's trying to boost, which is no problem if he's doing good, Otherwise, it's kind of like, damn. But, I mean, he's doing great, so.
Yeah, another player who's not going to get a new contract extension and actually wants to be traded or get bought out is Jahlil Okafor. Not happy in Philadelphia with the Sixers. He was supposed to be a really highly touted post player, but I think he's an old school type of player, and the league is no longer in that post move, post scoring type of a league. There's a lot of 3-point shooting. There's a lot of point guard dominant leagues, and he's a slow pace offensive type of player. So either he has to develop some sort of mid range outside game type move, or he's gonna get left in the dust because it doesn't look like they're going back to the post anytime soon.
Yeah, he kind of fell out of the Sixers process, and I think they kind of just been keeping him on deck for a while just in case anyone got injured or something. But I think he's going to either get bought out or he's just going to get traded.
And I don't really know any potential landing spots for him.
Yeah, I mean, the Jahlil Okafor saga continues, It's been like this since he got here. And we'll see what goes on. But we got a lot more NFL news and soccer news. And this whole week in the NBA has been kind of exciting, and I think next week will even be better, so tune in. Enjoy the music. We'll be right back.
This ain't no hot links. This ain't no hot chicks. It's Hot Streak Podcast, man.
And welcome back to Hot Streak Podcast, guys. Hope you enjoyed that good music. We got a lot of football news to talk about. Carlos, how crazy has this trade deadline been, man?
Oh, my God. I was not expecting any of these trades to go down the way they did. I was not expecting these teams to acquire not only these teams to acquire the players that they did, but the teams that traded them away. I didn't expect them to trade them.
Straight up.
The most prominent trade that I thought was the biggest shock to me was the Carolina Panthers trading Kelvin Benjamin.
Yeah.
The Panthers are having a very bad offensive season. And Cam Newton, the whole story with Cam Newton and the problem with the Panthers offense, everyone's saying, is that he's not surrounded by enough weapons. And Calvin Benjamin is a 6'5" receiver who's a red zone monster who has caught the most passes or the most touchdowns thrown by Cam Newton. So the Panthers decided to trade him away. They decided to trade him to the Bills, and that was insane. Like, I was just like, I don't understand. Unless you see some stock in the draft, it's kind of a bonehead trade in my opinion, because you don't really get anything back for that, and you are left with less weapons than you came into the season with.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they kind of wanted to. I don't know why they wanted to move on from Kelvin Benjamin because he's not a problem in Carolina. You know what I mean? So like I struggle with why would you take your main receiver, your main weapon away that Cam could throw to? So that's kind of, I don't know. I think you're right. It's kind of a bonehead trade, but it was exciting for sure. I was tripping out because I've been playing fantasy football for so many years, and this is the first year where we've had like these trades affect you so badly because you have 3 players, that go to whole different teams, and you're like, wow, it's a whole different scheme,
Yeah.
How will they play now? It's totally crazy.
And then the biggest trade that I saw that I was kind of like, I was very surprised with it as well, was the Jimmy Garoppolo to the 49ers trade. Not because the Niners needed a quarterback. I understood that. Kirk Cousins was probably the most surprised out of everyone because he wanted to go to the Niners. But my whole thing was, okay, the Patriots traded both of their backup quarterbacks this year. Tom Brady has no backup. They're going to bring a guy off the practice squad, and what happens if Tom Brady gets hurt? You're going to play with a no-name guy, and are you going to win the Super Bowl with a no-name guy again? I don't think so.
You know who they got? This is how genius the Patriots are. You know who they got to be Tom Brady's backup?
Who?
Brian Hoyer, the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, they cut him, huh?
They cut him.
They signed him for basically nothing.
He went to the meeting knowing that's like they're already signing. And I think Bill Belichick and like his staff are the best, dude. Like when it comes to a trade, you always know in the back of your mind that they got the upper.
Yeah, they have the upper hand because they have all the cap space. They basically only pay Tom Brady. Everyone else is getting paid.
It's almost a new squad every year.
Yeah, it really is, and it's always the next man up with the Patriots, and they're
always competing so hard. It's a whole culture over there.
Yeah, and then
super smart.
The Dolphins with the worst offense actually, before we move on to the Dolphins, Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the 49ers, said that he didn't get Jimmy Garoppolo to save the season. He brought in Jimmy Garoppolo to save the franchise. So there's potentially talks that he won't even play this year with the Niners, that they'll just try to build around him next year in the offseason and try to make him as comfortable with the scheme and the playbook as possible and the personnel.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
This season's already in the trash. It could just be good practice for the other players, but
yeah,
I think that's a totally good angle to take with this.
And moving on to the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins have the worst ranked offense in the league. They got blown out by 40 points last week, and they just traded their best or second best offensive player. Joseph Ajayi got traded to the Eagles, which is a great pickup for the Eagles because the Eagles,
dude, they got so lucky.
They did. They picked up a nice running back. They were that was probably the most, like, the position that needed the best upgrade was definitely their running back and their secondary. Their secondary, I think, is getting healthy again, but the running back, they had Darren Sproles at the beginning of the season, and he was actually lost to an injury for the rest of the year. And LeGarrette Blount is not going to be your primary running back because he doesn't have the speed that you would look for in a first, second, third down running back. He's more of a short yardage, gritty type player. So
he'll get you the first down on third down, but he's not gonna get you those yards that you want to actually power offense.
Exactly. And it's a good trade for the Eagles. The Eagles are looking like a top team right now. Obviously, they have the best record in the league, and they're getting better.
Yeah, totally. Oh man, it's just like when the best team gets one of the best running backs. It's like man, they just added way more firepower. I think it's gonna work pretty soon too. They're not gonna have to wait too long to see results on that.
Yeah, and then as far as teams that are looking like they need some changes, the Broncos should have actually looked to trade for a quarterback because their starting quarterback, Trevor Siemian, threw 3 interceptions on Monday night. They actually announced that they're going to be starting Brock Osweiler this weekend.
Brock got a starting job.
Brock got a starting job after botching last year with the Texans, getting traded from the Browns, or just cut by the Browns, whatever he did. Like, he made it back to Denver. And
his dream job. He always lands his dream job.
He landed his dream job back in Denver. He finally got the starting nod. So Broncos fans, continue to worry about your quarterback situation because you got Brock Osweiler starting on Sunday. And then we have some interesting news about the Browns. Josh Gordon reinstated on a conditional basis. I don't know.
Talk about Josh Gordon, man. Dude, Josh Gordon, one of the best wide receivers to even come out so early. And he just kept messing up, dude, with these drugs. But he's finally reinstated. If he can stay clean, I think this guy's going to be one of the best wide receivers in the league.
The only problem is he plays for the Browns. So
yeah, that's a problem. But I don't think they're going to keep him. I think they're going to trade.
I think the thing with him, though, is how could you trade someone who's not reliable, who hasn't produced on the field?
Teams want him. People are already so interested in Josh Gordon because if you've seen what he's done in that short amount of time, you're like, whoa. You know, it's like he's just built for football. It's crazy. He's such a beast wide receiver. Like,
and he's built for smoking that ganja too.
He's definitely built for that as well.
That's the problem.
His lungs are fat, but it's I don't know. I think he's going to be really good if he stays in shape. I think he's already in shape. I think he's already ready for the comeback. It's kind of like he's just smoking weed, I guess, you know? And, like, I guess maybe other drugs and stuff, too. But this guy's been ready to play football.
Yeah.
It's overdue for him. I'm just excited.
I think this is, like, his 5th chance. So, hopefully he doesn't ruin this one. And then from reinstating players who have been previously suspended to ghost suspensions. And now, finally, the suspension is going to go through, I believe. Zeke is going to be suspended by the NFL again for 6 games, and this time it looks like it's going to be for sure.
Man,
so he's
finally a decision.
Yeah, right. This is ridiculous. Like, the Cowboys would have been better off if they just let him get suspended the first 6 games.
I think so too, because then they would have had him already, and they could just focus on the playoffs and the postseason. But now it's like, we might not even make it. You know?
Yeah, they could potentially drop the ball and not even make it if they don't win out within those 6 games, because I think he's potentially going to be able to be reinstated for the December 17th game in Oakland. And I don't know, they have a pretty tough schedule. They have some divisional games, I believe, coming up against the Eagles. So if they lose against the Eagles, you know they're going to have to be playing catch-up the rest of the year. So it's going to be interesting. Hopefully there's no more drama when it comes to this suspension, because I'm tired of talking about Zeke getting suspended or not getting suspended, and it's just irritating.
Yeah, dude, for real. Hey, what's good with that week 9 though?
Yeah. Let's go for our picks right now. So Thursday night we got the Buffalo Bills against the New York Jets. Who do you think won that?
I think the Bills.
Yeah, I think the Bills do win that as well. And then we got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Take the Jags.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I'm gonna take the Jags too.
Yep.
And we got Denver versus Philly.
Ooh, I'm gonna take Philly.
Yep.
Every time.
Yeah. Against Denver with that mediocre offense, definitely Philadelphia.
Yep.
We have Tampa Bay versus New Orleans.
Ooh, I'm gonna take New Orleans.
Man, why are we agreeing on all these picks?
They better.
I'm gonna take New Orleans too.
These are the clear ones, you know.
We have Indianapolis versus Houston. Houston
for sure. Deshaun
Watson's rookie of the year.
Will Fuller, fucking, oh my God,
DeAndre Hopkins.
It's crazy over there, man. It's crazy.
They just got rid of their tackle though. They traded away Dwayne Brown to the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I think the Seahawks, right?
Yeah. But I don't know if it went through because the Seahawks player failed his physical. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, TJ Lane?
Yeah, he's a Seahawk again because he failed his physical.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we have Atlanta versus Carolina.
Ooh, I'll take Carolina on this one.
I'm going to pick Atlanta.
Yeah.
The Los Angeles Rams versus the New York Giants.
The Rams.
Yeah, the Rams. Baltimore versus Tennessee. I'm going to pick Tennessee.
Go with Baltimore.
Is Joe Flacco active for this week or is he hurt?
I think he's active.
I'm still going to pick Tennessee. Arizona versus San Francisco.
Arizona.
Yeah,
Arizona.
unless San Francisco can pull out a miracle, and I don't know. I mean, they've been pretty competitive except for that game against the Cowboys.
Yeah, I totally agree. With I was about to say, with Jimmy G coming, that could definitely help because they were a borderline win team every game.
Yeah, and then Arizona is looking like they could drop any single game any given night for no absolute reason.
Straight up.
Yeah, and then we got Washington versus Seattle. I'm gonna pick Seattle. The Legion of Boom showed up last week, so
yeah, they did.
So maybe they'll show up again.
I don't know. I'll take Washington. I always like Washington.
All right.
They're really good.
Dallas versus Dallas versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'll take the Chiefs. Big Chiefs.
I want Dallas to win just because of potential divisional matchups, but it's going to be a pretty good game.
Nah, the Chiefs are going to win.
Then we got Oakland versus Miami on Sunday night. Yeah, the only thing here I think is that they're playing on the road, and the best thing about playing on the road against Miami is that Miami doesn't play well at all. So yeah.
Straight up.
Their defense is dirty, and hopefully everyone can stay healthy on my Raiders. Marshawn Lynch is back as well, so that veteran
I got him on my squad.
And then on Monday night, we got Green Bay versus Detroit.
Ooh, this could be a good game. Gonna go with Detroit on this just because Matt Stafford is a great quarterback, and he's just a beast. So I don't think Brett Hundley is really ready for this, but I do hope the Packers take this W, and I hope I'm wrong.
And we got a couple bye weeks. The Bears, the Browns, the Vikings, the Patriots, the Steelers, and the Chargers all have a bye week.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that's this week's analysis / preview of the NFL. And we'll be back on Hot Streak with some more soccer news. We have some Champions League review to go over with you and more. So keep it locked. This is Conor McGregor, and you're now listening to Hot Streak. All right, guys, and we're back on Hot Streak. You already know what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed that music break. And and we're back. We're gonna bring you some international soccer news real quick. First and foremost, UEFA Champions League this week. We saw a couple of great games, a lot of good scores, and so first off, on Tuesday we had some fixtures between Liverpool and Marlborough. Liverpool actually won. They're on the cusp of qualifying for the next round. Monaco and Besiktas tied. So they're Monaco's right now is actually struggling. They seem to have not been able to rebound off of selling most of their squad in the summer. They're looking to rebound on that in the European table. Sevilla and Spartak Moscow played. Sevilla came out on top. Manchester City and Napoli faced off, and Manchester City came out with the win 4-2. Manchester City has qualified for the next round. And then we had Shakhtar Donetsk versus Frenoid. Shakhtar won 3-1. Shakhtar is, I believe, third in their group, so they're still trying to qualify. Porto is on the cusp as well, trying to qualify. The Mexican Hector Herrera actually showed some signs of brilliance in their win. He sparked the first goal to tie it, and then I believe he gave a couple of assists. These were Wednesday's games. I said Tuesday's games, but these are Wednesday's games. Borussia is mightily struggling right now. They can't seem to get any momentum going. They tied 1-1, and a surprise game of the week here. Tottenham beat Real Madrid 3-1.
Wow, I'm so happy. Hell yeah. Any day Madrid loses 3-1.
Mazel tov. Madrid has now lost 2 consecutive games, not in the Champions League, but in general. This past weekend, they lost to one of the smaller teams in Spain 2-1 as well. And there's some question marks above Madrid right now. They don't know what's going on. Tuesday's games, Manchester United beat Benfica 2-0. Manchester United is on the cusp of qualifying as well. Bayern Munich qualified. They beat Celtic 2-1.
Damn.
Moscow beat Basel 2-1. I think Moscow is on the cusp as well, trying to get that seed into the knockout stages. And PSG beat their opponent 5-0. Neymar had a goal and an assist, and a surprise hat trick by their left back. PSG is also qualified for the knockout stage. Surprise in this on Tuesday's games. Interesting. Roma beat Chelsea 3-0. They scored a goal in less than a minute and just knocked Chelsea off their horse. Chelsea is teetering right now. It doesn't look like they're doing too well, but they still have a chance to qualify. Atletico Madrid has tied. They have looked very, very underwhelming in the Champions League. Usually a very strong team out of Spain, but they have not developed. They have a couple games left, but it's looking tough to qualify right now. Barcelona tied against Olympiacos. It's kind of hard to score on a team when they put all 10 people in the box. They were defending with 10 people, so there was no room for any goals. Barcelona is still the leader of their group, though, so they still have 2 more games to play to qualify. And Juventus and Sporting Lisbon tied 1-1. So that's a recap on Champions League. The most surprising scores, I believe, were probably Roma and Real Madrid. Real Madrid is, like I said before, man, they're teetering, and I'm not sure how that looks for their coach. But let's take it to the Premier League and look forward to this weekend. We have a couple good games here. Liverpool versus West Ham. Hopefully my boy Chicharito on West Ham can get a goal and knock Liverpool off of their win midweek. Leicester versus Stoke City. A lot of mid-table teams battle on Saturday. Sunday, we got a blockbuster of a game here. If my computer would just load.
A little bit of technical difficulties.
We have 2 blockbusters. We have Manchester City, who is on fire, versus Arsenal, who came off of a good win last weekend as well. Manchester City's top goal scorer, they have a new club record for their top goal scorer. Sergio Aguero is now the team leading scorer of all time. I think he has 176 goals in that Manchester City blue. And we have a battle, Manchester United versus Chelsea. Mourinho versus Conte. It's probably the 2 most dramatic managers in the league versus one another. It's going to be pretty interesting to see those 2 teams clash. And I'm ready, man. I like watching these games. There's so much drama. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes for those teams this weekend in the Premier League. And then we'll jump to Germany. We have Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern Munich. The top 2 teams in Germany are going to face off this weekend. I'm eager to see what's going to happen there. But they both have been Borussia and Bayern have both been struggling this year. So a lot of people were saying a couple of years ago that Germany is the best league in the world because of the competition. So I guess it's kind of like fulfilling that, but at the same time, I just think that they've been underperforming.
Right. Yeah. Totally.
And Spain's top flight on Saturday. A couple of good games. Atletico versus Deportivo La Coruña. Valencia, who's been one of the most exciting teams in the Spanish top flight, against Leganes, and Sevilla versus Barcelona. Sevilla and Barcelona usually, I think Messi has like the most goals against Sevilla in his career. So we're looking to see Messi hit. Barcelona's been actually one of they're the top league or top team in the league right now. They're ahead of Real Madrid by 8 points and ahead of second place by like 6 points. And Messi has actually been one of the most unlucky players this season in terms of his shot efficiency. He has like the most shots on target, the most goals, but he has hit the post the most times. This past weekend, he hit the post twice. He has, I think, 11 hits on the post this season. So imagine if he didn't hit the post on half of those, he would have 6 more goals in the league. It's pretty interesting. Barcelona's on their winning ways still, but yeah, it's been a pretty good start of the season. They've started out of the 10 games, they've won 9 and they tied 1, and they have 28 goals in favor.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, we have Real Madrid versus Las Palmas. Las Palmas is a smaller team, but they have some grit. So I don't know, how is Real Madrid going to bounce back from 2 consecutive losses? Hopefully they don't, and they keep losing. And fun fact about La Liga, there's only been 3 teams who have ever come back from 8 points behind the leader at this point in the season. And that team has never been Real Madrid. Barcelona has done it twice.
Damn.
Yeah, and then the French league. Let's take it to the French league real quick. We have Monaco facing off against a mid-table team as well. Hopefully Monaco could get some momentum. They need it. And PSG versus a lower table team should be an easy win for PSG, even though there is some worry with the chemistry going on with Neymar. Apparently, Neymar is regretting his move to PSG. Even though he's making the most money, he actually visited Barcelona early in the week before the Champions League game. He visited on Sunday. He was in Barcelona. He was hanging out with Messi and with Luis Suarez. And he said that Messi's his best friend and his idol. So there's speculation.
Yeah, bro. That's what I was trying to say, dude. What are you doing, Neymar?
I think a lot had to do with the board in Barcelona, and Neymar's dad had a lot to do with it. But there's talk saying that Barcelona is going to buy him back. I don't know how that's going to work, but that would be pretty interesting. I doubt it's going to happen though.
I'm down.
And then usually we don't really highlight the Italian league, but let me just give you a look at the table here. The Italian league has been dominated over the last 5 years by Juventus, and the top 4 teams right now are Napoli's in first with 31 points. We have Inter Milan second with 29 points, Juventus 28 points in third, Lazio tied for third with 28 points as well. And they're all within 1 game of each other. Yeah. It's a really good competitive league this year in Italy. This league has been prompted as it was definitely one of the best leagues in the early 2000s. It's taken a slight decline recent years, but it's looking like it's making a comeback.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this weekend there's a lot of good matches. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of drama. It's early in the year, but I mean, it's the beautiful game, and we're ready for this. And Barcelona better kick ass. Arsenal, you better not suck. It's going to be tough. They're playing Man City, but you guys already know.
Yeah, man. Hey, you want to do your plugs already?
Yeah, man, I'm ready for my plugs.
Before we do the plug, we don't ever cover baseball on Hot Streak. That's never happened. And today I think we got to make a rare exception just because right now is Game 7 of the World Series, Dodgers versus the Astros, and it's the bottom of the 8th.
It's actually the top of the 9th now.
What?
Yeah, it's the top of the 9th. The Astros are up 5-1. I don't know what's going to happen.
Wow, okay. Yeah, you heard it here first, man. No, it's fine. You guys already know what happened, but shout out to LA and shout out to Houston. That's pretty crazy. Game 7's always tight in pretty much any sport.
Hopefully Dodger gear this weekend will be a little bit discounted. And caught myself a hat.
Yeah, for real, man. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Shout out to both those teams, though. I don't know who's going to win, but that's tight. Give them your plugs, Carlos.
Yeah, man, you can follow me on Instagram at chef_seagod and on Twitter at 2BlocksLoveChild. Make sure you follow us on Instagram as well at Hot Streak Podcast and on Twitter at Hot Streak Pod, P-O-D.
Yeah. Let them know. And then follow me on Instagram at Saif K94. And it's on private, but I'll probably accept, just a little, the few baddies that are listening to my men's talk show right now. But yeah, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You already know the addresses. Carlos just said them. Tune in next week. We got more dope news. You already know the NBA season's already crazy. It's only going to get more crazy. So's the NFL. So tune back in, man.
Yeah, man. And don't forget to follow our producer on Instagram at CRP Shows. Quality content up there every single week. And yeah, guys, it's the end of the episode. Hope y'all liked it. And tune in next week for more Hot Streak.
This was a Cesar Rodriguez production. Check out more at crpshows.com.